evening and welcome to Up South, your South India news destination. The big stories, the interviews with the newsmakers, and most importantly, news with perspective. With me, T.S. Sudhir. The Union Environment Ministry has allowed the traditional sport of Jallikattu to be played this Pongal. This was announced by the ministry through a notification. Owing to the intense pressure both from the public as well as from the political class in Tamil Nadu. But the animal rights activists who had managed to get this controversial sport banned through a Supreme Court order in May 2014 are seeing red, and they plan to go to court again.
Unless the Supreme Court steps in next week, it is almost certain that Jallikattu, the bull taming sport played during Pongal in southern Tamil Nadu, will be back. The Union Environment Ministry has allowed the controversial sport that was banned by the Supreme Court in May 2014 subject to certain conditions. It has asked the district collector to supervise the event and ensure there is no form of cruelty.
With Tamil Nadu going to elections in May this year, all political parties in the state had stepped up pressure asking for Jallikattu to be allowed. Their eyes on the vote of bull owners and those who take part in the fight. The owners wasn't the BJP to decide, since it is the party in the centre in power.
While Chief Minister Jallikattu has thanked the Prime Minister, the BJP, which is riding the bull to further its electoral prospects in the assembly polls, will hope the voters reciprocate in kind. However, animal rights activists are upset at the manner in which the government has bulldozed its way to allow this bull taming sport. The Animal Welfare Board of India, whose nod was necessary if the Supreme Court order was to be overturned, is planning to move the court on Monday. It says this Pongal will once again see extreme cruelty.
Animals being poked, stabbed, bitten, beaten, kicked, tails twisted, tails broken, chili powder being put on its genitals, forced to drink liquor. What more do we want? Plus a bunch of drunken louts jumping on every bull that comes out of the Vadivasal.
Critics point out that BJP's position on Jallikattu is in sharp contrast to its stand on the beef ban, with the party making a distinction between different forms of cattle. With Akshay Nath in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me now from Hyderabad is NG Jayasimha, member of the Animal Welfare Board. Also on the phone line is Shalini Sundararajan, a strong votary of Jallikattu. She joins me from Alanganallur, which hosts the biggest Jallikattu event. This is about 16 kilometers from Madurai. Shalini, to you first. When we met last weekend, you were not very optimistic whether Jallikattu will be organized. But today, I believe firecrackers went off in Alanganallur, in Palamedu, in most parts of Madurai. Just explain to us what is the kind of mood there in Alanganallur or in Palamedu or in Madurai.
Sudhir, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Sudhir, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Here, totally people in Alanganallur, Palamedu and from all the places, the people are in cloud nine. Today morning, all the shops here were closed. They were putting like a dharna over here for not Jallikattu being happening. But after 10 o'clock, people were shocked and as well as happy that it's going to happen. The full mode of Pongal and Jallikattu is such here. People started bursting crackers, giving sweets to the people who are crossing hereby, putting drums, trumpet, everything, dancing. People are very happy. They are just waiting for the day.
Right. So, Shalini, it's going to be a special Pongal. Do stay on with us on the phone line. Mr. Jayasimha, was the Animal Welfare Board and the animal rights activists in general also surprised that this notification had been issued by the Environment Ministry?
Yes, we were completely taken by surprise, as in I know that there was political rhetoric that was happening, that they were going to legalize it. But after understanding that the highest legal officer in Government of India had recommended that they should not legalize it, they have gone ahead and brought this. So we have definitely taken by surprise in the manner in which this has been legalized.
Right. So what are really the legal options which are available to you, Mr. Jayasimha, realistically speaking?
Realistically, the only legal option that is available for us is to move the court. So we all are convening in Delhi to try and see what legal recourse that we can take. But to be honest, the only thing that seems to us is moving the court.
You'll be most likely moving the Supreme Court on Monday, but does it really leave you with enough time before Pongal to get some kind of a decision, favorable or otherwise?
We will definitely try, as in we all know that the legal system will take some time, so I definitely will try to file on Monday and mention it as well, and hope that the Supreme Court takes up this matter, because what has happened here is a gross violation of what the Supreme Court had said. And this reminds me back to the time of Shah Banu. When the Shah Banu judgment was overturned, the BJP and everybody made a big deal about it as to how the sanctity of the Supreme Court was violated, and what's done now is the sanctity of the Supreme Court being violated.
Shalini, if you are still with us on the phone line now, you heard what Mr. Jaisimha of the Animal Welfare Board has to say. Now, they are going to move the Supreme Court on Monday. So, is the mood in Madurai also like keeping your fingers crossed that the Supreme Court's verdict is still awaited as far as Jallikattu is concerned?
I request Mr. Jaisimha to please look over the thing, what is happening at present. Whatever was being done, it was based on the people's move before 5 years. Before 5 years, as he said, yes, people were cruel towards the animal and they were trying to show their full strength over that animal, and they were really hurting it a lot. But now, this is not the state. I request Mr. Jaisimha to please come over here, look how it is happening. Like all the government office we see before, the way of system of doing the work was different, and now it is very systemized in all government office, and all the work are going very systematically. In the same way, the Jallikattu is also happening at present. It is very systemized. Not the people, nor the animal is being getting hurted. They can please differentiate what is happening before and what is happening now, and then they can move to the Supreme Court. And I really promise Mr. Jaisimha that nothing will go wrong and people will be following all the rules and regulations, and Jallikattu will happen very safe manner.
Mr. Jaisimha, you heard what Shalini has to say. Now, the argument would be that when political and public opinion is so overwhelmingly in favor of holding Jallikattu, why should the voice and opinion of animal rights activists alone hold more weight?
Right, it's not about the voice of the animal rights activists, it's about what the law of the country is. So what if, as in things would have been completely different if they had used legislature as a means out of it, as in if they had brought in an act in the parliament, passed it through a democratic process. Here it's an executive order overturning a Supreme Court judgment, and that's ultra vires of the constitution. That's complete disregard to the constitutional structure of our country, and hence it's not a matter of culture versus animal rights activists. It's about what is the law and how should the law be implemented.
Right. We'll continue to track this story very closely. Shalini Sundararajan and NG Jaisimha, thanks a lot for joining us on Up South on this top story on India Today.
Pictures of the Parliament building in Delhi, pictures of Rajpath, pictures of several other sensitive...